Welcome back into the studio. My name is Derik Clark, the sports director here at WNYO. You're listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. And for the next hour, it's me along the other side, a nice little guest, shall we say. But it's Laker Sports Talk, as always, here on a Monday night. And tonight, I'm joined by the leading goal scorer of your Lakers, believe it or not, a man who spent his first year of juniors in the CCHL playing for the, hopefully I pronounced this town right, because sometimes those Ontario ones are a little weird, but the Pembroke Lumberjacks. And then in the NAHL, which I know pretty good myself, and I know the team he played for pretty well as well, the Shreveport Mudbugs. Known pretty well being from the old state of Texas. A highly speed defenseman, forward type of deal going on for the man across from me. But he does play forward, though, because he had 4 goals this weekend, including his first collegiate hat trick against the Morrisville Mustangs. One of the nicest man you can ever meet in the sport of hockey, ladies and gentlemen. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Collin Vassallo. How you doing tonight, man?
Good. How are you, Derik? Thanks for having me out.
Man, a pleasure having you. You know, it's an interesting one. We were talking about it before we got on air, the aspect of I've interviewed you about 3 or 4 times for games, but never been on the show. But welcome. You're the first or the second forward now. Travis Baker was the first guest overall to be a player. And now you're the 4th player in total to be on here. Ed was the first guy from the team. Had to go for the coach first, But I thought I'd have you on, not only because you're one of the nicest guys on the team. Your family's great, too. Meeting your parents, I think that was 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
Ran into them for a little bit. They're great people. Great family you got over there. The Vassallos, great people. But, hey, heck of a weekend for you. A good rebound weekend this weekend as well, I believe, for the team. You know, you look at what you had a few weeks ago, you know, ups and downs. I know the guys weren't happy about, you know, playing against Hobart, and then you kind of go after that. And before that, it's just Hobart's Hobart, Geneseo is Geneseo. You kind of have to put that behind you at the end of the day. But I know the guys were not happy with a 4-game skid, if you will, starting with that Cortland game on Friday.
Yeah.
And the officials being the officials. But, you know, it happens. It does. You look at a game like Morrisville, though, you look at a team like them, too, a team that's, I hate to be rude to teams in the world of college hockey, but you know what? I'll be honest with you here on air. They're not a good team. They are not, and I'll be brutally honest about that. But no, you look at Morrisville and that game as a total, a little bit of a comeback rebound game for the guys, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it was a good, it was a good confidence booster. The boys were making plays out there, and you know, we were lucky enough to score 9 goals. I mean, they work hard, you know, so it's always tough every night. But yeah, felt good. Yeah, it felt good. Get back on her feet.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that as well. I mean, you look at the game before that in Cortland, you kind of get the officials being the officials.
Yeah.
And you look at the rinks, we were talking about it a little bit off air, but you look at the rinks of complete, interestingly different neutral zones. And, Cortland's rink, when you're behind the goal, you're standing there and your like skates are almost touching the boards behind you.
It's weird.
And it's a very different rink in Cortland. And then you look at Morrisville and like, it was odd because you guys were below us when you're like standing there. You're below, and it felt weird to me.
Yeah.
Like being in the aspect of like standing there and you're watching the guys warm up, but like they're below me right now. It just felt different.
Yeah.
But no, you look at just that game as a whole, and that barn as a whole is completely different than Cortland. So it's like 2 different rinks in the aspect of not only the neutral zones being one that's 5 feet shorter and then 5 feet wider than normal.
Oh, yeah.
But also the aspect of, like, you go from Cortland, which is a nice rink overall. Like, it's a nice building. And then you go to Morrisville, which is more of, like, a community rink. Mm-hmm. And it's 2 different aspects of that. But, no, I like how you guys played. I think you can agree in the words of you guys having a good bounce-back win. But, looking at the locker room as a whole, you guys practiced today, right? I know sometimes I know Ed likes to give you a day off or 2.
He does.
But
we have the day off tomorrow, but he gave us a skate this morning, which was good.
Yeah.
We played some small area games, did some skills, so it was good to get the feet moving.
Yeah. Ed's a nice guy. I love that. Ed's a good coach,
He's a good guy.
And it's... I love the team. I hate to sound weird like that sometimes, but I think you understand what I mean. It's a good group. You guys are a group guys. You're a good group of guys.
Yeah,
but,
we got a good squad.
But no, I mean, looking at this season as a whole, you're the leading goal scorer. I don't even know if you know that. But.
No, I honestly, you just told me that, and now I'm
no.
informed.
You have 2 more than Gatto. Gatto's below you with 10.
Wow,
and you have 12. So
I guess that's good.
Congratulations to you, Mr. 22.
Thank you. Yeah.
Look out the number, man. It's an interesting case with the Morrisville game too, because you guys actually came out in the whole yellow uniforms.
We did. I think it was Whitey's idea. He
Yeah,
wanted to change something up, and he's like, "We'll go with all yellow tonight, boys." And we were like, we all agreed. So
I'll tell you what, those Morrisville jerseys were horrible for me.
Yeah,
those numbers. I was like, man, even though I was close to the ice, I was like, man, I can't even make up the numbers.
It's definitely tough to see their numbers.
Gray numbers on black jerseys is the most outrageous thing.
It's tough. I mean, I think the jerseys look clean, but
they look good.
I'm sure for you, it's definitely annoying because you got to pick out numbers and call out plays.
See, when I was with Elmira and we played Morrisville, obviously we played Morrisville like once every other year and stuff, but there was the years that we played them, the green that they had was a bright green, and they used it on they had last name plates. They don't have them anymore. And it was bright green, and I loved it because those jerseys were the same jerseys, but it was bright green. Mm-hmm. You could freaking read, and I'm like, thank God, But now they're screwing me over. But and I'm getting older. The vision's getting worse.
Yeah.
But no, you look at you yourself. And you look at your years in juniors, and you have an interesting case in juniors because your man from Buffalo, New York, Go Sabres. They're kicking butt right now.
They're doing well. It's been fun to follow them.
You played juniors in the CCHL. That's an odd league for me because I still have to learn the junior leagues in Canada.
Yeah. So I mean,
is that tier?
That's junior A.
It's junior A, okay.
You have, in Canada, you have your major junior leagues, which is like the QMJHL, the WHL, and then the O, which is the Ontario Hockey League. And those are the major junior leagues where, guys get drafted out of. And then just under that, you have the BCHL, the AJHL, the CCHL, the OJHL. Those are all junior A leagues. And then from there on, there's leagues that I don't even know. There's tons of leagues. I could
the only ones
talk about them for days. But
before I came to Oswego, the only ones I knew from Canada was your major juniors. Yeah. But also the only ones below that I knew pretty decently was the OJ and the BC. Because those were the two leagues that Elmira mostly got their guys from. Outside of the Null or, we had a kid actually that was from the USHL, which was...
That's crazy.
That was a crazy pool.
No way.
Yeah, we had one kid.
Yeah.
Shout out Giannis Vispellis. He tried out for Lafayette, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't make the cut, but he almost made the World Juniors team.
Wow, that's
incredible.
He
was a good kid, man. He was a good kid.
I guess you read about that sometimes.
Yeah, he was a good kid.
A few guys from the USHL play a couple games, then come play here. I know Manzi played a USHL game, which is pretty cool. So.
Yeah, shout out to Manzi too. I got to get him on the show sometime. I love that kid.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
He'd love to come in here and talk.
Oh, I bet. I've had a couple interviews with him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
No, but the reason I talk about your juniors is the aspect of you played in two leagues that are in two different countries that are two different. The team locations are two different aspects of North America. You look at the CCHL, you were in Ontario, and then you go to the Null, you go to Shreveport out there in Louisiana. Shout out the Mudbugs. I remember the Mudbugs. The Wichita Falls Warriors / Wichita Falls Wildcats back in the day when I was watching them. We played the Mudbugs, man. I remember that logo. It's a nice logo.
It is a good logo. But cleanest jerseys in the league. I'll say that.
I know you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I'll tell you what. You look at the way you came between Ontario and then you go down to Louisiana as a man who's from the South. The South's completely different than Canada.
Oh yeah.
Was there a different atmosphere going from Canada to Louisiana?
Completely different atmosphere.
Yeah, I'd bet.
It was, first of all, the style of play just in Canada compared to Louisiana was a lot different. Canada was a lot more offense, and then you go down to the Null and all South especially, which is known for its grit and its defensive structure, which that league taught me a lot about the game itself. But just living in Canada was so much different than living in the South.
Oh yeah.
Just from the weather to the people to I don't even know, the living. You walk outside in Louisiana, it's 75 degrees in December.
Yeah.
And, you're loving life. It doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
In Canada, you're buried in snow. So two totally different aspects of life. But, I loved it. I could say I did both, and it was definitely, something I could check off my bucket list.
Yeah, and especially, like you said, the South is just completely different. I feel like the South fans, and maybe you agree with this, are, more aggressive.
Oh yeah,
they're a lot more.
They love hockey down there, which is it's surprising because it's the South. You don't think they're definitely big with with high school and college football. And, and baseball, like that's never going to change in golf. But you'd be surprised. Like some of these cities in the South are huge hockey fans. And especially Shreveport.
Yeah, and the South is just, I fell in love with hockey in the South. I watched the Wichita Falls Wildcats, and being from the South and being around there, it was the aspect of like, you're always told that like where I went to school in Petrolia, Texas. Shout out Petrolia, Texas. It's a little small town of 1,000 people. I lived in a very small town called Charlie, Texas, of 60 people at the time.
Oh wow!
And at 7 years old, I moved in when I was 8, but at 7 years old, I have the vivid memory of being told that I was already on the varsity roster for my high school class.
Yeah.
Like they already had us planned out. So being in that aspect of like football and baseball were just drained into you.
Oh yeah.
And then you have, at the time I'm a little kid being told that I got to play football and baseball. And then you see these guys wearing knives on ice and they're hitting each other. And you're like, what in the world is that?
It's fun hockey down there too. It is fun hockey to watch.
So I ended up, fall in love with the sport, and it's always nice to meet a guy that's played down there and play for a team that I've been able to watch,
Yeah, oh yeah, and I'd say, just for me personally, life experiences like that was probably one of the best experiences of my life. Just that year, living down there in the South, just kind of, adapting that lifestyle is really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice place. I haven't ever actually been to Louisiana, but I know that part of the South a little bit, and that part of the South.
A
lot of seafood.
A lot of seafood. A lot of
gumbo,
fishing.
A lot of gumbo. Oh, yeah.
Good food, though. I was a big fan.
That's
big fan of the food down south.
That's the one thing I argue, man. The food is the South food, the Southern hospitality.
Oh, yeah. Just everything about it. It's different, but, I really like it.
It's amazing. Shout out PK, by the way. It's she's I think she's in her 90s now. She used to be my babysitter down in Texas. She was listening to the game in Morrisville.
Oh, really?
Night. Yeah. Gave her, my dad told me, and I gave her a shout out during the game.
Oh, that's awesome.
She lives in Austin now.
Yeah.
She's a sweet lady, and she reminded, I still got the South down there, and the memory of the brain of the old Lone Star State is still cooking. But no, you look at your years in juniors and playing in two completely different environments, and then you kind of come back home in a sense. You come to Oswego. I mean, I say come back home. What is it, a 3.5 hour drive?
It's like 2.5. 220.
Yeah. So like, it's still, you're home in a sense.
But, yeah, it's a lot closer than I've been used to in the last 4 years.
But, I gotta ask, man. I ask every guy that comes on, why Oswego? Why'd you pick here, man? Is it Ed? I feel like it's Ed. Ed's a great guy.
Ed's a great guy. Yeah, just coming on my tour here. I remember it was during the fall, and Whitey showing me around, and just showing me all the facilities and the rink, and I fell in love with that. And then just the people, like everyone seemed to be great. I ended up going out with the guys after my tour, and I had a blast here. Yeah. And then on top of that, my sister goes to school here.
Oh, really?
She's actually younger than me, but
really?
She was in school before me because I did the whole junior thing.
Juniors.
So, just going to school with my sister, I think that makes my parents happy. They know we're in the same spot and we can kind of look after each other, it's definitely nice and it's good to have. And my parents come up every weekend, so they see us, and it's just it's all around a good gig. And I really like it here. I love it here. I know we get buried in snow.
Oh,
but
yeah. There's 9 feet
snow
out
we
out
do.
there?
But, just the summer right on the lake, it's a great vibe.
Yeah.
And it's fun. We got a really close group of guys for our team. Yeah. Another thing I should mention is, coming here, like I knew we were going to have a big freshman class. So I knew I was going to graduate with, 12, 15 guys where, we kind of did all 4 years together and grew close. And I really really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, and
especially build relationships a big thing for me.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good word to say, because obviously last year, your freshman year with a bunch of freshmen, and I don't even know if you know this, but the pre-poll before last year was we were supposed to get 8 wins. Like nobody expected us to win the Zodiac. And that happened.
That's crazy. Really.
And your freshman year, you get to experience that with, like you said, 15 new guys, and
it was awesome.
You get to build a culture off of that.
Yeah, you really do, and you kind of get a taste of what winning's like, and everyone kind of buys in, and it's nice. It's a good thing we got going.
Yeah. Well, we got to go to break real quick, but Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Collin. He's a great guy. You're listening to Laker Sports Talk right here at WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
Hey folks, I'm Lucas McGarry of the Oswego State Swim and Dive Team, and you are listening to 88.9 FM, Oswego, New York, the Laker Radio Network.
Welcome back into the studio here. You're listening to Laker Sports Talk right here on WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. My name's Derik Clark, the sports director here at WNYO, and a man across the table, Mr. Collin Vassallo. It's been an interesting talk. It's always loosey-goosey here, and like I said in the beginning, we've talked to each other a few times.
Yeah.
Vassallo family's always a good family, and
It's
pleasure to have you in here, man.
It's good to hear. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man. Now I got to get a little serious with you, okay?
All right.
And I hate to sound a little rude, but, it's life.
It's life.
You look at the team, you look at the struggles you've had, and you get a bounce back win like Morrisville. The national ranking came out today.
Yeah.
You went down to 14.
I saw that.
I want to bring up a question, though, because I interviewed Gilmore. Shout out Gilly, as the guys call him in the locker room.
Gilly.
I threw him off when I brought that in the interview, and he was like, what? And I was like, oh, I listen. I listen when I'm down there. But, Gilmore, a great interview with him. I brought up the whole, national ranking and how, being you guys were all the way up to 4th, going down to 6th, go down to 10th. And asking him if it's a factor. And, the words he used actually kind of shocked me. He said, we don't worry about that. Do you worry? Are you one of the guys that look at that every week and care about it? Or are you more of put that aside, I got more important things to do?
To be honest, I'm really happy Gilly said that because I'm fully on board with him there. I try to avoid it. We were 4th, which was nice. But, even 4th or 14, I still kind of have the same attitude going into every practice, every game. So, I can't really say it affects me. Yeah. And when you feel like when you have that attitude, you really expect, the worst, I guess, or expect nothing. And usually that's when a successful outcome comes from that. But
I agree with that statement. And also, you look at the national rankings, in my opinion, being around it for so long, the aspect is looking at it in the aspect of college hockey and comparing it to the aspect of college football, for instance. Like college football, you want to be up there so you can make the national tournament because their whole thing's different. And then you look at hockey, and it's more or less you're trying to win your conference or you're just trying to have the year you can have. So I agree with that statement. I feel like the national ranking, even though it's important, obviously, I feel like...
Yeah, I definitely say it's important, and, we definitely all want to be ranked and make the tournament, but... At the same time, I guess, you have the mindset where you just show up and do your job and, the chips will fall.
Yeah.
You'll be up there.
It's an interesting situation to when you look at the national rankings and you look at, how many teams are from the state of New York that are in there. And then you got to remember that there's, 90-some D3 hockey programs and, 20... I think it's 25 of them are in the state of New York or whatever. Yeah. So it's, kind of inspected, but, you look at that and you go, well, we play a bunch of those schools because we only play schools in the state of New York or, outside of the whole, tournament aspect of hosting our own tournament and playing a school like Williams. But it's kind of, for the fans aspect, what I'm saying is the fans aspect is I always hear the fans, they make such a big deal of it. But now that, not only Gilmore, but you, and I've also heard it from a bunch of other guys too in that locker room, the aspect of it matters, but it doesn't. It's kind of nice to see that you guys are mostly focused on what we can improve on, what we can do and
control what you can control.
Exactly.
You're gonna win games, you're gonna lose games. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, and I like that aspect, and Ed's Ed, Ed's Ed, and I think he's a great coach, and he
cares a lot.
He cares, and he puts that aspect in you, And,
yeah, he does.
And I gotta ask, man. You look at the game against Cortland, and we were over there calling it, and the whole thing happened with Burke, wasn't it? Yeah, Burke with the linesman.
Yeah.
What in the world was going on?
I have no idea. It honestly almost seemed like there was it seemed like there was something personal going on with.
We were confused, and then you have Ed, who looked like he was going to throw the rule book at him.
Well, yeah,
gripping his little rule book in his hand, and I
I
looked at Rob, and I go, "Oh my Lord, is he gonna throw it at him?"
Yeah, no. Well, I guess we watched the video back, and it was an offsides call or Berkey.
Well, it doesn't help that the neutral zone's 5 feet short.
It doesn't help that at all. No, I know, and I think Berkey almost had like a breakaway, and they blew the whistle from the other zone or something. I don't even know what happened, but definitely tension rose from that.
Yeah.
Tension's always
temper
rising.
flares. It's hockey.
Yeah, it's hockey. It's hockey. Everyone's always on edge. Calls aren't always going to go your way, and it definitely pisses people off. But
I asked Gilmore.
It's part of the game. It never really changes.
I asked Milberg when I had him on the show about if he ever wanted to be in a goalie fight, and you know what his words were?
I want to hear these words. What did he say?
Exact words were, "I speak for every goalie when I say I can proudly tell you that is my number one dream as a goaltender. Get in a goalie fight."
I've seen one actually.
Yeah?
In juniors, my goalie, he I remember we were playing Lone Star, and that was our rival.
Lone Star Brahmas.
Oh yeah, that was our rival at the time, and I think we had like 6 or 7 fights during the game, and finally on like the last fight, there was like a big brawl, and I remember my goalie looked down at the other goalie, and he skated to the red line, and he dropped his helmet and gloves, and he waved him over.
Yep.
And we saw the whole thing on the bench. We saw the whole thing go down, and it was pretty incredible. I mean, the goalie skated right out, and they started throwing fists. But it was definitely something like you don't see every day. I mean, I don't really see goalie fights ever.
Well, he had a goalie.
The Null is pretty common to have a goalie fight, but it was cool to be in a game where there's a goalie fight.
They're very different, especially because you had the one Vasilevsky and Swayman.
Yeah.
In the outdoor or the stadium series, and I watched that live, and I was like, they're gonna go. I was like, they're gonna go, but you yourself, I don't know. Do you consider yourself a fighter in the aspect of like, would you ever want to? Obviously, we don't condone that in college hockey, but you look at it in the aspect of like, if it happened, would you do it? Kind of thing.
I mean, if someone's gonna drop the gloves with me, yes. That's one thing I've been taught. That's one thing I've been taught.
Don't let your mom know. She'd be freaking out.
I won't. But that's one thing I've been taught is you never really shy away for a fight, especially in a game like that. And someone wants to go you like, I mean, honestly, you got to depend on if that guy's like one of their, if the trade-off's
the
good
enforcer, if you will,
is what you say. But I mean, there's a couple times where I've been really mad to where I wanted to drop the gloves, but it really just depends on the mood I'm in, how the game's going, or what the situation is. So.
We can confirm Vassal has thought about it.
Yeah, I sure have.
But you talk about the fighting aspect of quote unquote the enforcer, if you will, of the team. I would argue that the enforcer of our beautiful team that is the Lakers would be Mikey Ergo in a sense.
I think Mikey's a great energy guy, but I think he does it all.
Yeah,
I think he makes plays. He plays defense.
I'll be honest.
He's tough to play against. He's a great guy to have on your team.
He's an amazing man, and also
great guy as well.
He had a heck of a game in Cortland.
Yeah, he did.
He had a heck of a game.
Throwing the body around like crazy. Like I think every team needs a Mikey Ergo on it. There's room for a Mikey Ergo on every team.
Yeah,
the guy's always putting in extra work. Like if you're gonna be an energy guy, like he's in the gym extra doing extra sets. Like he's definitely a guy you look up to and you want to follow. So
he's also a very polite man.
Very good guy. Very
I'm shaking his hand every game.
He's my roommate, and
I
always chirp him and stuff. But I happy to say a really good thing about him because he's a great dude.
He's
I'm
a
really
great
happy
guy.
To live with him and be on his team.
Yeah,
so.
I shake his hand before every game now, I swear. I see him right when you guys are doing your stretches, and every time, I swear, he's doing it right outside the booth. Yeah. And he's like, Derik, how you doing? And he's shaking my hand. And I'm
he's
like,
very personal.
And then like 5 minutes later, he's on the ice and he's trying to hit somebody in the head.
Great. Fun fact about Mikey Ergo is he does not use the door. He just hops the boards. That's all he does.
What?
He doesn't use the door, no.
No.
He just likes to hop the boards.
You be using the door sometimes?
I use
sometimes
the door
you're lazy?
I use the door when it's open.
When it's open?
Yeah,
if it's open, it's open,
Every time that guy gets on the ice, he's always hopping the boards. Something about, just hopping the boards and getting on the ice.
Getting going.
I feel like it's just energy from that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's pretty funny.
He's a funny guy.
About that.
He's a funny, happy guy, and it's cool that you guys are roommates. You guys kind of bounce off each other on the ice, too, you know? So it's nice that you guys are roommates and you guys are cruising, if you will.
Yeah.
But, we bring up goalies. You bring up, I've had I've had two of your three. I haven't had Manzi, but I've had Milberg and I've had McCarthy on the show. But you look at the guys in between the pipes. Manzi had a unique weekend this weekend, little back-to-back. The entire season we haven't seen that. It's first time this year that we had a back-to-back. Actually, it's the first time that I've actually seen it here in Oswego. I don't think it even happened my freshman year. I know it didn't happen last year.
Back-to-back weekend?
Back-to-back weekend for a goalie. I don't think it happened last year.
Did Milberg play any back-to-back weekends?
Maybe Milberg did last year.
He might have last year.
You know what? If you're counting the playoffs, I think, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, playoffs
so, like,
different.
But that's different. But I think he might have actually, now that you say that. I'm not for sure. But nonetheless, this season as a whole, I mean, that's the first time that happened.
Yeah.
And Manzi, who's by far a character, I will say. He
is.
In the words of him, when I asked him about why he waters his left goalpost, quote, "The goalposts are my last defense before the puck goes in. They're my best friends, and they need to be hydrated."
Is that a quote?
That is the exact words he used me at Sips while I was waiting for my freaking Toast Crunch milkshake.
Oh, jeez.
And he was getting something. I don't even know.
He would say something like that.
Yeah, it's like, dude, my first interaction of all time with that guy,
Manzi.
too. He's a great guy.
Good guy to have around.
You know, you look at the goalies, though, behind you and in those pipes, like the three guys that you have Milberg, you have McCarthy, you have Manzi, you know, the three M's, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, the great guys. How does it feel having goalies like that? Three guys that are very capable at doing their job.
All three guys, well, first off, I want to say all three guys are characters. But,
they're all characters.
Just great guys.
Goalies are
around.
goalies.
Great guys to have around, though. You know, definitely positive and uplifting. You know, I really enjoy the presence. I'll say that. But just, you know, having them in the net too is. I feel confident going in every game. Like, they're all very skilled goaltenders. You know, they played high-level junior hockey, and you know they definitely save us a lot of the time. I mean, they make some really big saves in some big games, and you know, it's just great playing in front of them. So, I mean, I'll keep it simple with that. But I think you know, those three goalies are perfect for our team, and you know, just gotta keep, I guess, playing for them.
No, I get that, you know, and for Manzi too, he played juniors in El Paso and then in Alaska. Like, that's even crazier to think about.
I used to play against Manzi in juniors when he was in El Paso. We had a playoff series versus him. We ended up winning, so I always give him a little bit for that. But yeah, it's crazy going from El Paso to Alaska and top level junior league. So that's good. Shows a lot of good experience.
Especially with when McCarthy was on my show, he told me that Manzi told him a story about how, like, they would have a weird month where they would fly from Alaska to whatever teams they needed to, and they'd play those teams for a month on the road, and then they'd fly back to all that. So it was a unique schedule of flying back and forth in a sense. Because there's only two other teams in that league in Alaska.
Yeah, so they'd have to go and stay for
a little bit.
3 weeks.
Yeah, and then you got to go back.
It's crazy. It's a crazy way to live.
Yeah. Shout out to the owners, by the way. Yeah. I couldn't even imagine paying for all that.
I know. Yeah, that's nuts. I know we would do some road trips, something similar to that.
Because isn't it Blaine, Minnesota is the showcase, right?
So, yeah. So, I mean, for us, since we were in Louisiana, Blaine, Minnesota was probably 19 hours away. So we had a sleeper bus. We were lucky enough to have a sleeper bus. Our team had, you know, a lot of money, so we were treated very well. But we would take the sleeper bus from Louisiana. We'd stop it in Springfield, play a null team called the Springfield Blues there. And then we'd go up the next weekend and play in the showcase. And we'd travel with like 30 guys because, you know, at the start of the year, a bunch of guys were still trying to make the team. And, you know, just that road trip was so much fun. Yeah. Just going on the road with the boys and, you know, not worrying about anything else but hockey and, you know, just living in a hotel and, you know, walking around new areas. Like, it was incredible. Yeah. But we did that, and we did another one to New Mexico and Colorado. So those were two really far trips. But, you know, just knowing that, you know, Manzi did that as well is pretty cool to see. Like, you know, a lot of guys are invested in it, and, you know, they definitely say the same things about it. Like, it's the best experiences of their lives. Yeah,
and you look at you look here. Your longest bus ride is what, 4.5 to Plattsburgh.
Yeah,
so
and I mean,
that's probably nothing for you. You're probably sitting in that chair sleeping for all, you know.
Not even. I'm wide awake in that.
It's just a normal I forget what buses you guys have.
Yeah, we have the normal buses.
You normals?
I don't get a bed where I can.
No.
Those are for
you're
the
playing
20-hour
D3, bud. I'll be honest with you.
You're right.
You know,
those are for the 20-hour.
In the words of my good friend Mitch Atkins, D3 is the Fed of NCAA sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
And that comes from a guy who played in the Fed.
Yeah.
Shout out Mitch, dude. I love that guy. God, he's playing in the. He plays for the Royals out there. It's a AAA senior.
Reading Royals? Is that what it is?
No. It's up in Canada. I forget, the town starts with a T. It's like It's a semi-senior AAA.
Oh, it's
league.
Senior A.
Yeah, Senior A. He's playing up there now because his family's originally from Canada, and
that's cool.
he's a player agent now out there. Yeah,
I heard about Senior A, which is in Canada. We don't have that here. I don't.
No. Well, we have like the weirdest version of that, the MIHL, which is the Michigan Interstate Hockey League.
Yeah.
Which is only in Michigan. It's the weirdest version of it, and I don't recommend playing there.
Yeah,
I'll be so honest with everybody. Yeah, I don't recommend. But no, you look at the guys and the team, and I feel like you guys are doing good. You guys have a little bit of a rough patch, but rough patches are rough patches at the end of the day.
And see, every team's gonna go through a rough patch.
Exactly. It
only makes you stronger.
Especially in a sense of this, where you're playing every weekend from literally mid-October to, well, you guys are gonna make the playoffs, so you're gonna go all the way to possibly the beginning of March to even further. So you look at that, and you're playing every weekend and bounce back and forth, but you guys have that energy, that flow, and I think that's a very important thing to have.
It's all about getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, and some teams don't have that. I'll be honest.
No.
I've seen colleges that don't have that.
Yeah.
You played against a team that actually this weekend in Morrisville that I don't think has that. So, it's an interesting case. But we gotta go to one more break, but we'll be back. Don't worry.
All right.
Don't worry. You're listening to Laker Sports Talk right here on WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. Welcome back into the studio here at WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. My name's Derik Clark. You're listening to the Laker Sports Talk right here on WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. No, welcome back to the weirdest part of the show. But no, it's always having a pleasure of a player being on the show. So, yeah, I got to regain myself here. You look at this weekend ahead for the guys. It's a little interesting weekend. I'll be honest with you. I feel like it's a safe weekend in the aspect of Fredonia and the aspect of Buffalo State. I say safe weekend, but I will remind you, and I hate reminding players of things that are semi-bad, but when you played Fredonia earlier this season, in Fredonia, you only beat them by 1.
Yeah.
But you're back at home. You got a great crowd, great student section. You feel ready for them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Their rink, again, we were talking about how the rinks and the layouts of them are different. And
they're all that rink's odd. I've
all
been
the
there.
barns, yeah. So that one was definitely tighter. And it's just weird playing them, but
their booth is weird too.
It is. But I definitely feel confident playing them here. They work hard. They're a hardworking team. I just think if we stick to our game, I play with confidence. I think we should have no problem. But I guess you said we only beat them by 1, which everyone I guess has those games. We, sometimes bounces don't go your way, and again, like in that tight rink that they're used to playing in, and they like to dump the puck in a lot, so it's definitely a chasing game. But yeah, I'm confident to have them at home, so I'm excited for the weekend.
Well, one thing I'll say about Fredonia, with this microphone falling, it reminded me of actually something funny. About Fredonia, when we called the game in Fredonia last year, because we didn't call it this year, because the whole, we go on the road with you guys, but when it's, not to be rude to the guys, I know you guys play during the break, but it's the break, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to be home petting my dog.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
sure. I don't blame you.
But, shout out Cash, my dog, great guy. No, but he's you look at Fredonia's rink, the story out of there from last year is when we were calling the game mid-game, there was a fan who was definitely under the influence of alcohol, and he came up to us very quickly and just said that they can't hear you back in the studio. Very quickly, and we didn't we were like, oh crap! Like we were like panicking mid game.
This random dude came up to you.
I'm calling the game, and Rob is over there. The guy who I call games with is just trying to like do everything he can to like. He's like spam texting all the guys back in the studio, and we get a text back, and they're like, "Dude, you're fine."
This dude pranked you?
Yeah, some random.
And you fell for it?
Yeah, I fell for it.
Oh, jeez.
The Fredonia fans.
Fredonia fans.
Fredonia fans. The Blue Devils. You look at the banners up down there or up there in Fredonia, and because that's not too far from Buffalo, and
technically
it's
about
in
40
Buffalo,
minutes away. It's like 40 minutes away from Buffalo. Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember because I haven't been there in a year, but no. Yeah. Either way, they got some nice banners up. They have a little bit of history, but right now they're not doing too hot. Neither is the other team that you're going to play this weekend in Buffalo State, who obviously you're from Buffalo, so you know that college, I'd assume, pretty well.
I skated there growing up.
Skated there, okay. That rink's. I'm going to be so honest with you. When they told me that rink was built in 91, I thought they were joking.
I don't believe that either.
I was like, dude, I thought this was built in 1955. Yeah. I thought it was like a bomb shelter.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
They had a pillar in front of us, too, when we were calling the game last year. Like, they're like, yeah, this is where you be. And I'm like,
it is an old rink. It's a very old rink. They got the wooden stands, so it definitely feels really old school.
They get a good crowd, though. They don't get a bad crowd. Buffalo's Buffalo. It's a hockey place, so it is. Shout out to Rob, too, who I rode my first train ever in the city of Buffalo.
City of Buffalo, eh?
Yeah, so got around. We went into the KeyBank Center, got some merch. My dad's a big Sabres fan, so got him a hat and stuff. But
it's a nice city to walk around.
Yeah, Buffalo's. You lived in the suburbs of Buffalo, or like actually in the city of Buffalo?
I live in Orchard Park.
Orchard Park. Okay, so it is
right by the stadium,
right by
the Bills Stadium.
Yep.
But I play a bunch of my hockey in the city of Buffalo. It was right at the Harbor Center down there. It's connected to the Sabres rink. So
I tried Tim Hortons for the first time in the Harbor Center.
Yeah, Tim Hortons is great.
Tim Hortons is amazing.
Love Tim Hortons. I wish we had one here. I
got to ask a question actually about that. So when earlier this season, great thing you brought that up because I needed to ask a player. I totally forgot. Now that you say Tim Hortons and I brought up Tim Hortons, it reminded me to ask this question. When we were in the Canton Buffalo weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It was the only weekend we actually spent in a hotel room this year because of the whole 7 and then 4, which is so odd to me.
Yeah.
Is it true? I was told by who actually told me? I don't remember. Someone told me on the team I could become. Was it Raymond? I think it might have been Raymond. Yeah, I think it was Raymond. He told me that the hotel you guys were staying at was across the street from a Tim Hortons.
It was right next door.
Right next door.
Next door at Tim Hortons.
And the reason that was is because all the Canadian boys wanted some Tim Hortons.
Is that who said that was the reason?
That's what Raymond told me. That's what Raymond told
me.
That
might be true.
That's what he told me.
Raymond said that.
Raymond said that. Raymond and was it not Whitelaw? Oh, Mike, your volunteer coach.
He said that too?
Yeah. Because Mike's always next to us in the booth. Yeah. They always put Mike next to us. Shout out to Mike. Love Mike.
Shout out to Mike.
Dude, I felt bad for him in Morrisville. They put him in the bleachers. I'm like, what the heck is this, bro?
I know. Well, I don't know if that's true.
That's what they told me. I never asked
Ed. That could
Ed.
Possibly be true.
I never asked Ed Gosick, but
I was happy. I went there in the morning, so I love Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons great. I tried it for the first time at the Harbor Center, and it was great. They had a whole high school hockey tournament going on when we went, and it's got Timmy's and.
It's addicting, especially their coffee. I go every morning.
I'll be honest with you, man. I think it's, I'm a big Dunkin' guy. There's a lot of Dunkins in the southern tier where I'm at in New York, and big Dunkin' guy. I hate Starbucks, and I think Tim Hortons beats Dunkin' by a mile.
I think Tim Hortons beats Dunkin'.
I think it does. I think it beats by a mile.
By 2 miles.
I feel bad that we don't have one down there because I'm like, man, this is some good coffee.
It is. It's good.
It's great.
It's good coffee.
It's good coffee. I stopped drinking coffee in the start of the hockey season because I had a little bit of a caffeine problem. I will admit. If you can't tell, a broadcaster when they're on caffeine, they're a little crazy on the call. But no, it's good coffee, and you Canadian boys, them Canadian boys like it.
They love it.
I'll call you a Canadian boy because Buffalo is just right there. But I won't do that. I won't do that to you. You just
nothing against my Canadian boys.
You look like you were defeated right there when I said that. No, not Canada.
I like the Canadian boys. It's always funny. We got our little inside jokes about America and Canada.
Oh yeah. Well, they drink milk from a bag, so.
Yeah, they do. They do things a little bit different down there, but that's why I love them.
Fun fact, actually, when we were up there last year for the whole Buffalo weekend with Fredonia and Buffalo State, we actually Me and Rob snuck across the Canadian border and went to the
casino.
No, I wish. I wish. No,
Casino.
we went to the falls and ran into the St. Borough Pete's.
Yeah, that's
the whole Pete's team.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, they were there.
They must have been playing.
They were playing Niagara.
Yeah, the Ice Dogs.
Yeah, we were like, "Is that the Pete's?" And then I was like, "That's the Pete's because it has to be because it was like their actual jackets."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "It has to be." And then went up and asked, and they're like, "Yeah, we're here because we play Niagara tonight." And yada yada. I'm like, "Oh, okay." And just
that's dope. That's cool.
Spit some bars with the Pete's. But yeah, they were nice to talk to.
It's always nice to go Niagara Falls. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
You ever been to Clifton Hill?
No, I haven't. The last time I made a full stop in Buffalo before last weekend, like in that Buffalo, Canada area, was all the way back in 2020, a month before COVID. I watched my Ducks play the Sabres.
Really?
I'm a Ducks fan.
You are? Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Go Ducks, quack, quack, baby. We're doing a heck of a year this year. It was back when we were trash and the Sabres were trash and we beat them somehow 3-2. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Only NHL game I've ever been to in my life.
Was Ryan Getzlaf there?
Oh yeah, it was his second to last year, and
yeah, he was a good player. I remember watching.
We had Getzlaf, and we had who was in net that night? It wasn't Gibson. It was I forget. It was one of our AHL call-up dudes, and he played a heck of a game.
Corey Perry on the team at that time?
Yeah, Corey Perry was on there. I got to watch Corey Perry live. I was freaking out. It was because actually right after that's when Perry left and went on. And then we still had Cam Fowler. When we still had like the semi-core guys.
Yeah.
You know, it was fun.
It's good. It's good to watch.
Yeah. I need to go watch the new jerseys now, the new orange jersey, and
yeah.
I got Zegras on it. And
you ever take any trips to Anaheim?
No, I haven't. My oldest brother is stationed out in California right now in the Air Force, and I
go visit him.
Well, my brother and my other brother and my dad actually did, but I didn't. It was during the summer and I couldn't. But
that's all right.
They don't even live anywhere near Anaheim. They live near Sacramento, which is
so they're
way out there. But you know, I'd risk it. Fly over there, fly down to Anaheim, maybe. You know,
why not? Maybe check it out, see what it's like. Different life out there. It's cool.
No, well, we're getting towards the end of the show because. Got to wrap it up. Got to get on a podcast. Shout out to Throwing Bagels guys. Great guys. And then Dash got to get in here. Probably should fix the mic before he gets in here, don't you? Don't you think? Probably should. That thing is... You know what it is? It's the screw that holds this up. And it fell. I don't know where it's at, but we'll find it. You look at the team as a whole. You locked up the 2 seed. I don't know if you know that, but you did officially.
I heard that.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
You're the 2 seed. The only thing you got to worry about is Hobart. We're not going to talk trash about Hobart. We'll talk about that off air and how much I don't like that school, and that's a different story for a different time. But no, you look at being in the 2 seed, and you're locked up, and you're ready to roll with what you have. You know, you're kind of getting in the amps of playing in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Preparing for the upcoming playoffs, man. It's tough. You got Grenier. I know he's still battling a little bit of an injury. Shout out Grenier. Love that kid.
Yeah, great guy.
Love that kid.
Great guy.
Near Vancouver, but roots for the Oilers. Kind of a weird situation.
Yeah, he played. He played out in the AJ. So he was near Calgary, Alberta. So big Oilers fan from that experience, I'd say.
Well, you look at he's banged up. Manzi, I know that he got ran into by that guy when you guys were playing Geneseo. And in the words of Manzi, I have a bruise on my leg, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, another Manzi quote.
Manzi's a god, I guess, right? But no, you gotta try to fight for that Suniac crown again. So do you think the guys are ready? Even though you're a little bit banged up. Or?
I think we're ready as we'll ever be. I think we're gonna catch fire now, and this is the right time to do it. Mm-hmm. I guess just take game by game. And just see what happens. I guess I don't really want to talk about Hobart yet because we still got that first round of playoffs get through, and like I said, just put our heads down and stick to our game, and I think we'll be surprised with the outcome. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Ready to go.
The only words I'll say about Hobart is Elmira was a rival with Hobart, so I hate Hobart till the day I die.
Yeah.
They put their jerseys in our locker room.
Yeah,
Fun fact, that's a true story.
Club.
That's a true story. The Hobart Statesmen put their jerseys in our home locker room in Elmira. True story. If you want to talk about fighting, there was a lot of fights that night.
Those
true story.
Definitely
also, their rink is trash and their ice is horrible, but that's another story for another time.
It's tough to play there.
But no, I appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you having me. It's been a pleasure.
One of the sweetest guys on the team, man. I always, I swear,
good
I'm
to
not.
hear, it really
True
is.
story, one for one. The first time I ever interviewed you, I was on the phone with my mom, and I was like, "Yeah, I interviewed this freshman because it was last year when I first interviewed you." And I was like, "Yeah, I just interviewed this freshman guy, and he's a heck of a guy. His name's Collin, great kid." And then like a couple weeks later, I was like, "I got to get another interview with that kid because he's so cool." And then I ended up interviewing you now, 4 or 5 times. So
Yeah.
you're always on the mind of me because you're the best interviews out of the guys, and
It's great to hear. It really is. I really appreciate that.
Ed
Thank
is
you.
a great interview source too.
Yeah, he is.
But I appreciate you being on the show, and it's always a pleasure having the guys. So
Anytime.
Yeah.
I loved it.
well,
Loved
we
being
will
here.
continue the tradition because you will be signing the stick and joining a couple of you guys
Sounds
on there.
good.
So thank you so much to Collin Vassallo for joining the show, and thank you all for listening. You've been listening to the Laker Sports Talk right here on WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
For more Laker sports talk, listen to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network, Monday nights at 7 p.m.